Nobody saw that? Honestly, that's kind of a Schrödinger's joke. Like, either I've included it in the video and you clearly have seen it, or haven't included it in the video, including this part, and you haven't seen it. And I kind of wish YouTube had the ability to play one of two videos when you click on the thing, and it's randomly determined which. I mean, they can do random thumbnails, why not have random video versions? I'll tell you why: storage limitations. It would be so much more expensive to do that. Yes, let's just include multiple copies of the same video that just happen to have slightly different content. Welcome back to A Vault a Day Build Phase. Or at least this is a section of Build Phase anyway. So you might be wondering, what's with all the gear that we have now? I've been running vaults if you've been keeping up with my other stuff, but if you haven't, that's fine. The daily runs aren't really meant to be watched like all of them. You know, the build phase is technically the more interesting of the series, but the Vault a Day vault phase is more of, you know, just tune in when you want. That's cool. That's chill. So, we've been getting some good gear. We've had, 4 or 5 vaults at this point in time. I mean, by the time you're seeing this, there's been a whole week of vaults. But we've got some pretty cool vault equipment equipped, with the exception of the helmet, because A, I haven't gotten any vault helmets yet. It's kind of weird. But B, also because cursive binding, all of that whatnot. If I do get a good vault helmet that I really like, I'll probably just unequip everything else and then just take massive amounts of damage to get rid of it. But you may be wondering about this cactus that I have in my hand. Well, I had, on today's vault, a desert biome themed run, and cactus was one of the things inside of it, and I didn't really think anything of it. So I finished the vault, I got out, I basically got rid of the blocks that I thought were, you know, decorative or didn't really have a point or anything like that I didn't really need, like tons of vault stone, tons of, you know, random vault sand and the like. I was like, oh yeah, I don't need any of that. And I threw out the cactus. And immediately after I, you know, logged off and stopped recording, I was like, oh, darn it, I actually could have really used that cactus because I'm not near a desert. I have no idea where cactus is. I sure hope I get another desert vault. Well, when I logged in just now and loaded up the save file, because the save hasn't progressed more than 5 minutes than when I threw it out, I was able to save the cactus. So that's where we're at right now. I'm about to do some inventory management. As you can see behind me, I've got a ton of shulker boxes. They're all relatively sorted, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But I also need to get rid of some of the items, sort some of the items from the previous vault run. So I'm just gonna do that right now, and we'll cut to after it's done. So there are a bunch of different things that I want to do today. I want to keep working on quests. There are also a couple of Vault Hunters related stations that I need to make as well. Most of this is just in the quest, so as long as we keep following that, we're good. I think I might potentially have enough gems to be able to unlock a mod, and moreover, I got a passive mob Cagerium egg during, I don't remember if it was this last vault run or the run before that, but I turned it into a hostile mob Cagerium egg. So I'm actually leaning even more in the direction of I start with Cagerium as my first mod. Originally I was thinking maybe I'd do the village manager mod, because then we can potentially repopulate the village a lot easier than I otherwise would, and we can also start getting the village trades, but I have enough emeralds that I'm not particularly worried just yet, and we're getting good equipment at a fast enough rate that I'm not really concerned with putting enchants on it just yet. Maybe once we start getting to some of the vault tools stuff, then I'll start worrying about it. But even with the vault tools, they have fewer tools than, they have fewer enchantments than vanilla tools, because durability and the like works differently. So I don't think you can put mending on vault tools. You can put unbreaking on vault tools, but that means that they are cheaper to enchant, and they also last a lot longer than vanilla tools to begin with. So I'm not particularly worried about running out of emeralds immediately. I am, however, kind of worried about potentially getting a mob drop that I just don't have access to yet. So we want to keep an eye out for those mob eggs. We want to keep Cagerium as our first mod candidate. And, I've completed a bounty. Yeah, so we can complete this quest and get some chromatic iron. And we need to craft a chromatic iron pick, and I think we have a tool station already, so let's take a look at what we need to do that. I can put some of this in here. Driftwood and bronze, so I should go get those resources. I don't think... Yeah, okay, I'm not quite the right vault level for the chromatic steel tools just yet, but that is a-okay. Driftwood, and I've already forgotten what the other thing is. Driftwood, I have. And even if we were level 20, I suppose I do have enough carbon that I could totally just make enough vault steel. It's a fairly expensive process, though. Let's see, and vault bronze. Now, the neat thing with the coins is, I'm pretty sure in tool benches and the like, yes, the coins can stack higher than just 64, unlike in your inventory. So we can just pile it on in here and make a whole bunch of tools all at once. So we're going to make, I think probably the pick, actually 2 picks, 2 axes, because I think having a Silk Touch axe could be a good idea. Actually, the only reason to have a Silk Touch axe would be theoretically stuff that I can use the shears for anyway, so maybe I don't worry about that. So 2 picks, 1 axe, shovel, actually, 2 shovels? Normal shovel and a Silk Touch shovel, maybe? Well, anyway, I'm planning way too far out in advance. At the very least, I'll start with the 2 picks, the axe, and 1 shovel, and if I need a second shovel, I'll worry about that then. 2 pickaxes, and 1 axe, and a shovel. The thing that I hate is that you need more than the normal amount of ingots that you would think, so I'm gonna have to go get more. I'm gonna have to go get more chromatic iron. So I'll be right back once I've done that and also unlocked the next set of quests. So, you can see in my inventory here, we have 4 new jewels, and I hate that it's sorted it like this, but we have 4 new jewels that will be very helpful. This was a quest reward for completing the jewel applicator? No, that's the thing that we're currently working on, but for completing the previous step, we got these 3 jewels, or 4 actually, and the nice thing is, these 3 are probably going to go on my new chromatic iron axe because, if memory serves, these are the things that let us chop down chests and get the stuff that's inside them in the vaults. So, obviously you have one for each type of chest. You've got a gilded affinity for gilded chests, living affinity, living chests, yada yada, you get the idea. We also have this 4th one for coin affinity, which I'm pretty sure is for stacks of coins. So I think what that means is probably not that we can pick up stacks of coins like as a decorative item, but I think that these will give more coins broken, effectively acting like a fortune modifier for that. But we'll just give it a try. We're going to enchant these pickaxes, and the other thing that we're currently working on is the identification stand, so I need to go get a couple of obsidian, which I will do after I enchant this pick with haste and unbreaking and, you know, all the good stuff. Okay, remember when I said that emeralds weren't going to be a problem? Well, I enchanted these 2 pickaxes completely, so we have, you know, efficiency 5, fortune 3 on breaking on one, and silk touch on breaking and efficiency 5 on the other one, and, I'm down to 1 emerald. I also enchanted my axe a little bit, so we've got fortune 3 and unbreaking 3. I figured the, efficiency, or haste modifier, whichever it is, can come later, because, I'd prefer to have unbreaking first, and fortune as well, because when we're chopping down leaves, we want to make sure we get those saplings. And unfortunately that means I've got nothing for my shovel at first, but we'll live. Man, I forgot how good it is to be in a pack with a vein miner and, you know, having all efficiency and that whatnot. A stack and 47 in minutes. Just minutes. And there we go. Now we've got the nice fancy identification table, and, well, we don't have anything to identify right this second, but it's going to be very nice when we come out of the vault, and rather than just standing around and doing one at a time, which, I mean, admittedly looks pretty cool, we can just walk over to this table, right-click it, and identify everything all at once. It's going to be very nice. Time-saving. Then I went on an adventure, exploring for iron ore, and this happened. Nope, I forgot that I do not have leather boots. Ow. Okay. Well, it seems we're in a bit of a sticky wicket. Now, let's see. Are there any villagers alive? Yes, there are. And moreover, the fact that they're alive, but mine aren't, almost suggests that, yeah, villagers do hide at night, but it tends to work better when their village is mostly on a level plane. Oh, nope. Yep, it's this. It's this kind of thing that definitely got my villagers killed, too. So, yeah, I would not at all be surprised if this village is going to suffer the same fate, too. I'm just going to head back up real quick and just bookmark the village. And then we'll keep exploring. There we go! Mystical pink flowers, the last flowers that we needed for Botania, even though we don't have it unlocked yet. Now, for the unfamiliar with Botania, there are flowers representing each of the 16 Minecraft colors that exist currently in the game. At least I'm pretty sure it's 16. There might be 17. I haven't counted. The point is, it matches the number of colors that Minecraft has for everything else. Wool, terracotta, concrete, you name it, there's a Botania flower for that color. And you need different color flower petals for each recipe. So getting one of every flower before you start Botania is really nice. Ooh, are those emeralds? Lucky break! Emerald Peaks! Heck to the yes. All right, let's go. Okay, maybe I can postpone the villagers just a little bit more. I don't know if it's this whole thing or... There we go. Let's make this emerald green. Confirmed. That is hot, and we're just going to go ahead and use the silk touch. Now, at this point, once again, the limiting factor is going to be food as opposed to... Holy... Nutball. Oh. I used the wrong pickaxe again. I really need to rename the Silk Touch one so that I can tell when I switch between the two of them. There's a goat. I sure would like to be able to do the horn trick, except I don't really know how that works. I mean, I kind of do. You just sort of stand in front of it until it, bleats at you and charges. But I don't know how to force that. And I also don't know... It needs to slam, like, directly into a wall. Well... Right. So the point is, I don't think I'm going to be waiting around for a horn like this. Hey, hello there. Are you gonna charge me? Meh! Man, I sure wish I had a good way to transport you, but I can also see that there's snow of doom down there. Are you going to charge me? Are you going to charge me? Can we get a charge, maybe? I mean, there's a straight path culminating in a block right here if you just jump up. Oh. Yeah, wish granted. Yeah, that's right. Come on, look at me. Get angry. Get angry. Whoa! Ow, I didn't jump fast enough. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna need to remember that. Oh, is it about to do it again? It might be about to do it again. Come on, look at me. Look at me. Fight me. Fight me. Well, okay, I guess if I missed my chance, I missed my chance. I'm just gonna have to remember the goats are also here. Maybe I'll put it in the tag. Wow, that's a big vein of emeralds. Okay, maybe I once again am okay, except at some point I am gonna want to enchant my armor. Now, the other nice thing about having Silk Touch already... Well, I say already as if it hasn't been just about a month of me playing this series. But the nice thing about having Silk Touch is that we can use ores decoratively once we've got the mine a little bit more established. And sure, there'll probably be like some people not too keen on it because I'll just have, you know, emerald ores sitting around doing absolutely nothing, but that's kind of, I don't know, part of the appeal. Especially if narratively we can explain away how we're generating some of this stuff is like, ooh yeah, we actually, you know, got it in the mines instead of having like a pillager in a cage. Which is really how we're going to probably end up automating some of this stuff. Maybe with the villager mods too. Whoa, and even just the ones that I accidentally mined, I got 31 emeralds. That's easily enough to finish the enchanting on the axe, and possibly even put a little bit on the shovel. So, what I intend to do with the rest of this episode is I'm probably going to build out a whole bunch of stuff. I'm thinking I'm probably going to start with, even though we don't have Create mod yet, I think I might start with building the foundations for the trolley station, because the idea that I have is sort of beneath the station is actually going to be the trolley garage, more or less, for lack of a better term. And so the rail line is still going to be directly overhead the bridge that we have here, but what I'm thinking is we have like sort of a building that cuts into the hill a little bit here that you can walk in through the front door or whatever, and it's going to be underneath the railing, so it'll be covered. But then you go in, and to the right is where the trolley, like, sort of parks itself for maintenance. I mean, this is purely going to be lore/aesthetic. The trolley garage itself is not really going to do anything. It might even be the initial stop, but it's not going to, like, be a stop that it keeps coming back to. It'll be where I assemble the trolley. That's the best way to phrase it. So we'll have like this building that you go into, and you know, it sort of hangs out over the side of this a little bit, and then the trolley is going to be in there. And what I intend to do, and I actually just realized I haven't figured out which direction I wanted to go in. Originally I was kind of thinking over this way. So the tracks will sort of like go out a little bit, and then we'll have a slope up. A very, well, not very gradual slope, but we'll have a fairly gradual slope up so that we can meet up with the main track, and that'll sort of have like a curve joint into it. What is it called? A switch. Yeah. We'll have a switch like somewhere over the lake, kind of. And then the actual station will be like just above where I'm standing, I think. And that'll be, you know, we'll probably have like a bridge that we can walk into over maybe here-ish. I haven't really given a whole lot of thought to heights and the like, but I'll think about that. Because I don't want the overhead rail to be too close to this, otherwise it'll feel claustrophobic. So I'm thinking like 4 or 5 blocks tall, and that'll give us a good framework for the rest of the stuff that I want to do, because I want to build out this trolley. What would you even call it? It's not a garage. Depot. Depot might be the best word. So we're going to build up this trolley depot, I guess. I mean, depot kind of implies more than one thing. Note to future self, look up train terminology. Trolley shed? Shed might be a good one. It's not really a shed from the, you know, small American sense, but I'm pretty sure railway sheds are a thing. So we're going to build our trolley shed. Well, at least the framework of the trolley shed. And then that will also help me figure out what I want to do with the path that's going to go around the island and the best way to connect it up, I think. Because it'd be kind of cool if the path ran underneath the trolley shed, but I'm also seeing right now that perspective-wise that might not be a thing. I haven't decided yet. I'll need to think about that. Okay, so as you can see, I've done a bit of construction and grinding and the like, and we have added supports to the bridge. I actually started over at this end and started working on the stairs and various connection points that I think are going to be useful once we have the trolley. I still haven't come up with the term. Shed? Yeah, the trolley shed, trolley garage, whatever you want to call it. So we started over at this end, and I just kind of made a few supports over there. And because there are a bunch of different, like, stair points and the like, I've ended up doing sort of a 3x3, or the pillars are 5x5, I guess. And so those link up with each other, and you've got just a few different landings over there, like this one over here. Well, we'll talk about that when we get there. So the point is, I could then take the remaining length, which I believe was 87 blocks, and you can sort of keep bifurcating it until you get down to an even number. So like, for example, 87, you round to 86, or not exactly round per se, but 86 div 2 is 43. So you take 43 blocks on either side of the center, and then you split that again. So you take 42, div 2 is 21, and so on and so forth, until we finally got these segment lengths of 10, which cannot easily be divided like that again. You could potentially split them into 5 and 5, but then you get some weird support structures, and this just looks pretty good. The one thing that does make a little bit harder is to put in a drawbridge somewhere in the center here, like I had talked about before, but I wanted to get in these pillars, and the build looks a lot more stable. I'm still going to put in, like, probably, well, okay, maybe not arches. Maybe arches between the shorter lengths. Like, I think this right here is approximately center. So if we do the drawbridge thing, these pillars are not going to be there, and it's going to kind of retract up this way. And so we're not going to want any arches in here either, because, I mean, what's the point? We'd be doing the boat. Actually, we might have like a bigger arch supporting the general drawbridge itself, but that will go up when the bridge goes up as well. And now I'm just nattering about drawbridge architecture. So let us continue. You can also see that I've kind of created a pathway around the entire island. Let's come up here first real quick. So here we have a divergence point. Right ahead of me is going to be the entrance to the trolley shed, and then it's going to extend over this way a minimum of 5 blocks. I think I'm actually going to keep going another 3 and then put a support pillar on the corner here. So it'll actually be just a little bit further, and then what I'll do probably is have just a support pillar running all the way down to the end of the garage, or shed, whatever it's called. And then once again, you know, we are going to go up a slope a little bit and then meet up with the actual trolley line. And so I thought that by, you know, kind of going out a little bit, then we can put a nice big support beam directly under the rails themselves. And then we can have, you know, maybe like another support going out this way from here, and then another couple of supports going out this way from here. So it just seems, you know, physically accurate. And then this part of the pathway will pass underneath the shed. Now let's just continue to wrap around. If I open the map, I'd like to think this is actually some pretty good curvature. I'm still not entirely sure if there's anything that I'm going to change, especially up and around here, and we're going to see that. But one thing that I think I might have to alter is that right now anything that's on top of ice functions as being slippery, and that's not exactly great for a dock. And conveniently, it's nighttime anyway. So what I'm not sure about is how I want to blend this into the terrain with the mine. I think having this on a proper block level is good. So the half step has to happen somewhere. I just don't know if I want it to be right where the rocky coast meets up, or if I want to take it all the way up to the entrance. And that's really probably going to depend on what I do with the mine carts in here. But I think, I suppose there is some potential stuff that we can go over down at the bottom. Now, in the event I haven't gone over the vault changes down here, we basically have done some stuff. We've got the identification stand, we have the jewel applicator, the transmogrification table, and the black market. In order, identification stand does exactly what it says on the tin. When you have unidentified items, you walk over, you right-click, and it automatically identifies everything. well, automatically. It just does it in the click. So it takes away the amount of time that you need to identify everything. The jewel applicator is really nice. We're going to add some gems to our equipment, and I believe that can only go on the chromatic and higher stuff. So you can see that we're probably going to put some chest-related jewels on the iron axe so that we can break chests in the vault. That'll probably happen before Friday's Vault a Day run, and that means yesterday from your perspective, but later today from mine, because it's fairly late. Anyway, transmogrification table means that you can change the appearance of your equipment. I'm going to demonstrate that later if I haven't already. And then we have the black market, which is really nice because it lets you roll on things. And I'm actually going to demonstrate that right now. So we just got a jewel. It has ornate affinity. Now the nice thing is it's 18 size. The ornate jewel that they give you as part of the quest line is 25 size. So that means that this takes up slightly less space on a tool. And that means that the tool can have more jewels on it, which means ultimately it will theoretically be more useful. Now, if I have already talked about this stuff, then we can talk about the vault design next. So originally I was thinking kind of sandy and stuff that might involve like dripstone, and I think the cave itself might still involve a little bit of dripstone, just do a little bit of terraforming. But then I realized, no, I kind of already had that idea, and having recently played Final Fantasy XIV's Dawn Trail expansion, it could be pretty cool if I end up leaning more into the obsidian and purple stuff, and I actually thought about this while I was looking at some crying obsidian, so I could potentially do a really cool gradient from the purple half on the one side of this temple to more of a golden side on the other, and I think I can bridge the gap really nicely between the crying obsidian and maybe some like a gilded blackstone, and just sort of make my way through there, pardon the piglin. And I believe that's just about it for today's Vault series, or Vault a Day build phase series. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified, and as always, I'm looking forward to your feedback in the comments below. And with that, I will catch you on the flip side. Thanks for watching, everybody.